And now for the intro, part 3, The Master of Ashes. Florence, 1485, a city gilded by genius and trembling beneath its own shadow. Here, in these marble streets where prophets clash with princes, the eternal soul returns once more, reborn as the painter Matteo di Rossi. He has walked through childhood visions and survived the dangerous brilliance of apprenticeship. But now he enters the age where gifts become burdens and memories become fire. As Florence burns with faith and fear, as art becomes both salvation and sin, Matteo stands at the threshold between creation and heresy, between the world he paints and the world he remembers. For in this life, the veil grows thinner, symbols long forgotten return, faces from other centuries whisper again, and destiny waits in the smoke for the moment he chooses who he truly is. This is the third chapter of the Florentine veil. This is the turning of the soul toward the fire it once knew. The Florentine veil. Part 3. The Master of Ashes. The return to the city of light and smoke. Florence, 1485. The city Matteo left as a trembling youth now receives him as a man marked by both promise and hunger. He walks beneath Brunelleschi's dome, each step a memory, each shadow a reminder of what he has lost and what still calls to him. Frescoes he once helped grind pigment for now bear the fingerprints of other hands. But the city is not the same, nor is he. The streets shimmer with a strange mixture of triumph and decay. Merchants boast of profit, priests whisper of corruption, scholars debate salvation, while soldiers sharpen their knives. In their midst walks the soul who has been reborn more times than he can know, carrying memories that refuse to die. And the master's commission. Matteo is summoned to Palazzo Medici, a commission of great honor, a mural celebrating the triumph of divine order, a title chosen not by artists, but by men who fear their own reflection. Matteo bows, accepts, obeys. But inside, a small defiant flame stirs. He sketches the early lines that evening. Angels meant to glorify power become messengers of grief. Men meant to represent virtue become silhouettes hollowed by ambition. He paints the truth, even when the truth cannot be spoken. And the Return of Isabella. Script. She appears again, Isabella de Conti, unchanged by the passing years. Her presence is quiet, but the air shifts when she arrives. She studies the mural in silence. Then she turns to him with that same steady gaze, the gaze that sees not flesh, but the soul behind the veil. "You paint with memory," she says, "but memory alone is not awakening." Matteo wants to ask who she truly is, why she appears in every turning point of his life, why her eyes feel like the memory of dreams he cannot keep. But she only touches the unfinished wall and whispers, "Paint what you fear." The Angel Who Moved. Slow escalation. Late at night, Matteo returns alone to the mural. The candles flicker violently, though no wind enters the room. He stares at the angel he painted earlier, and the angel stares back. A subtle shift, a change in the tilt of its head, a gold shimmer where no gold has been applied. The air hums. A whisper comes, not from behind him, but from within the painted figure. Creation remembers its creator. Matteo drops his brush. For the first time, he understands. He is not painting beings from imagination. He is painting beings from other lifetimes, other worlds, other forms of light.
And the Court of Gold and Shadow.
The Medici court gathers for inspection. Lavish garments, greed hidden behind velvet smiles. They praise Matteo's progress, but only the parts they understand. They fail to see the sorrow beneath the beauty, the warnings hidden in the wings, the serpent woven in the corner of the composition, a symbol older than Florence itself. A monk in the entourage narrows his eyes. He sees something he should not see. The Fire of Savonarola. Savonarola rises, the prophet of flames, the voice that shatters Florence into fear and devotion. His sermons pour through the streets like molten iron. Cast out vanity, burn what keeps you from salvation. The crowds swell, the bonfires begin, paintings, poems, jewels, memories, fed into the inferno to satisfy a god imagined by frightened men. Matteo watches from the edges of the crowd, his heart breaking. He recognizes the flames. They are the same flames that have taken him in other lives. And the raid. It happens at dawn. Boots. Shouts. The splintering of a studio door. Matteo's sketches are seized. The serpent, the woman of stars, the symbols of memory. Each page is held up to candlelight like a sin exposed. He is accused of heresy, of painting what no man should know, of remembering what no human soul should remember. His hands tremble, not with fear, but with the knowledge that they have taken part of his soul. And the river of ashes. Matteo goes to the one place that has always spoken truth to him, the Arno. The river he once believed sang with living light now runs black with ash. Fragments of burned manuscripts float like the ghosts of forgotten wisdom. He kneels at the water's edge. If creation remembers its creator, and what does destruction remember? No answer comes, only the silent drift of ash. And the last painting. He returns to his studio. Everything is gone but the blank wooden panel leaning in the corner. He prepares pigments slowly. Ochre, gold, ultramarine ground from the last of his treasured lapis. A ritual of remembrance. He paints a woman, veiled in celestial cloth, holding a single candle in a world of ruin. Her eyes hold infinite sorrow and infinite patience. He names the work, the Florentine veil, and the woman crowned with stars. That night she comes again, the woman of his dreams, the one who appears across lifetimes. She stands in the doorway, not flesh, not spirit, but the memory of a divine truth he has chased across centuries. She lifts her veil. Underneath is a face radiant with the light of countless worlds. Every lifetime begins where the last one burns, she whispers. He reaches for her, but dawn arrives first. The soul walks on. Florence fades into memory. Another lifetime burned down to embers, another veil lifted, but not yet the whole truth. The eternal soul steps forward, carrying ashes from this life into the next world awaiting its awakening. Where will he be reborn? What new faith? What new empire? What new mirror of the divine will call him to remember again? Walk with us into the next culture, the next life, the next turning of the wheel, where the same souls return in new forms, bearing old promises and unfinished destiny. And finally, a reference in time. Echoes of the past. Early Christian vision. The Transfiguration. The eternal soul is noted in many histories and sacred writings across the ages. One instance is, on the mountain, Christ stood with Moses and Elijah, voices from centuries apart, speaking as one. Time folded like a veil drawn aside, revealing a light that knew no death. Such is the mystery of remembrance. that what was once separated by ages may again stand together in radiance. And so, in Florence, as Lorenzo paints the veiled woman in glory, the same divine light passes through mortal hands once more.